Pixel art games, well, I've said it before, seem to never go out of style. There's always a dedicated market for it out there, and let's just be frank, they look awesome, and it takes the world to make one of these that actually work. With that said, here's our top 13 most anticipated, totally brand new revealed pixel art games of 2022, and 3 on the way to Android and iOS devices as well. Let's go.
How does it feel to breathe when you're dead?
At number 1, by Kakao Games, the old developers, we've got over here finally the long-awaited and rumored action RPG platformer adventure game that they've been making since 2020, something called Goddess Soul, also referred to, in case you're wondering, yes, Goddess Order. Here's what the Korean developers actually came up with for gameplay, a release date of early to mid next year for the mobile devices only, and what I would have to guess will be a lot in the same vein as the old online dungeon fighting games. Check it out, in case you missed it.
그 속에서 벌어지는 다양한 사건과 이야기들.
In case you missed out on the news, we just came across a new trailer on NewWiz's long-awaited Brown Dust 2. This is a mobile RPG sequel that's been in the works since probably 3 years ago. Brown Dust 1, though, if you're just looking for it, is now rebranded as something called Brave 9, and so will probably the sequel over here be named later on. In any case, this is how the game really looks, and it's only rumored to be coming out in about a few months from now.
"僕らが待っていたその次の物語へ」「ブラウンダスト2」
Coming up behind that, we've got something called Cats and the Other Lives from earlier this year. What used to be a PC exclusive, and now the news that the game is now being ported to the mobile devices and iOS first. It's gonna be released around holidays, I've only heard, March to April next year. And as for the game itself, in case you're just wondering, here you play as a cat that is supposed to uncover some long buried family secrets, and the game itself will have a focus on story rather than gameplay. So if you like pixel art detective noir stuff, this is perhaps something for you. At number 4, from a couple of months ago, we've got over here, once again, sort of Convallaria. Probably the best looking pixel art tactics-based action RPG I've personally seen for 6 months at least, that's actually going to be released on the mobile devices. Guys, this is actually in-game footage. We know that the game will be a fully free-to-play one upon release, and it's going to be released on both Android and iOS devices, probably even PCs as well. In case you're wondering, the game is originally in Japanese, but also being made in English.
そういう作品をどういうふうに作っていったらいいかっていうのが、まあちょっと一瞬わからなくなったりとかしたんですけど、まあそれでも
At number 5, we've got, once again, although it's already been released for PCs and consoles, I mean the PlayStation consoles, an action-adventure platformer going by Anno Mutationem. This is, as you can see, A mix of 2D, 3D pixel art graphics and set in some distant future, pretty much inspired by Cyberpunk. The game is mostly a hack and slasher, it's a retro, it's got some retro synth sick goodness for soundtracks, the story is decent, and the gameplay is just something else. It's even said to be controller support game only. Check it out, the game is only rumored to be coming out March next year. Now, just a quick mention as we go, at the Game Awards a week ago, we came across the announcement that Vampire Survivors as a free-to-play game all the way is now available on Android and iOS devices too. A couple of hours ago, we even got the update that the game even has its long-awaited DLC, Legacy of the Moon Spell, is releasing as a paid content for both platforms for $1.99. Moving on. Next up at number 7, we've got Tales Weaver. Second round, well, actually one of the oldest pixel art MMORPGs on TapTap by the Korean developers Nixon, actually sitting on the Play Store in Korea with a perfect, in case you didn't know, 5 out of 5 review score on the Google Play. I don't really think there's just much to talk about over here except that Tales Weaver is in development for the Western regions too, actually worldwide, and said to be coming out early to mid next year. Coming up behind that from roughly 7 years ago by NCSoft, we've got over here finally Trickstar M. This is a MMORPG mobile port based on the old famous PC online game Trickstar. The original game itself now, and new features such as a bigger battlefield, new PvP mods, and a new community system. Take a look. Game's available in Korea only and set to be released worldwide with English support, of course, and due out early next year. Moving on, we've got once again Neon Abyss Infinite, the mobile port of one of the just most famous pixel art games of all time. Technically a mix of the Binding of Isaac and Terraria, which I mean like it's a randomly generated sort of game in which you upgrade a lot. Neon Abyss, as you can see, a roguelike 2D platformer and a multiplayer game too. Partly though, it is actually a very well made game in nature, quite smooth, and it is now on its way to mobile devices Android and iOS both sometime next year. Actually, it's only rumored to be coming out in February. Sitting on the Play Store and available for consoles and PCs too since earlier this year, we've got at number 10 Survivalists. This is a farming survival RPG life sim, pretty much a Stardew Valley game or its sequel to that to some extent, but set something like 12,000 years into the past, if not more. I'm not really sure about the date. Anyway, it'll be a paid game only and only rumored to be coming out to Android devices to January, maybe a month later next year. Take a look. At number 11, we've got over here something called Replaced. Guys, look, this is a Microsoft, PC to Xbox limited game or just exclusive, only rumored, or better said leaked out of the company in the making for Android devices too as a paid game only. Replaced, as you might have suspected or just saw, single-handedly the most advanced in visual pixel design game in today's list. It's also the smoothest, probably the biggest too for the following year, and this is how it actually looks. Coming up at number 12, we've got from June this year, sitting on the Play Store with a ton of ads, which just makes it automatically a horrible game. However, the full game, going by Premium Jinshin, is due out worldwide by the end of the year. Guys, Jinshin has ever since its reveal been one of the most anticipated JRPGs on the horizon. The game is said to be coming out in about a month in its premium version, and it'll have more content too, so keep it in mind. And last but not least, sitting once again on the Play Store, ready to go on a few regions right now, we've got from earlier this month something called Calibur League. This is a strategy action RPG slash idle game, probably what you get by mixing a tower defense game's concept with a team-based arena style kind of idle game. Here's a trailer. The game is of course online, it's free with in-app purchases only, and it's downloaded only 1,000 times ever since release. Just automatically makes it the most underrated game of the list. So keep it in mind.